And so now we've finished our method and we've just got to collect a little bit of data. So it's up to you to do the method. Now, I didn't really tell you what all the materials were, but it's kind of up to you. This is simply distilled water. Remember, we started with 1.0 molar hydrochloric acid and 1.0 molar, 1.00 molar, and that does matter, sodium hydroxide, NaOH. The rest of it was simply a cut up red cabbage or purple cabbage. And the colours that you see changed because of the serial dilution that we did. Right, I'll leave that there for a while, and you might have to stop the video to write down the appropriate colours so you can calibrate your indicator. And the next thing we'll do is some really, really rough quantitative data. So this is universal indicator paper. You'll notice a scale, and the scale goes from 1.0 pH to 12.0 pH. And you'll be aware that the pH scale does stick out to either side of that. So let's have a look at the first one. Oh, I have to tip it up for a bit for that. And the indicator really doesn't affect the pH all that much, but my dilution does. So this is really rough. Right? And that's fairly clearly round about 1. Now, it's up to you to deal with this. I'm going to go to the other end now. And that is 12, or possibly even more. All right, so I've done the ends. Now I'm going to do the middles. I'm going to have to squirt this with distilled water now, as I've put horrid chemicals over it. Here is Darling H2O, and as you can see, that's pretty clearly 7, except for a mark I put there earlier. Now, what I am interested in now is doing the gradation down all of these. So I'll do it quickly. So here's the 1/10 strength as a roundabout. Interesting, 2.0. Now the 100th, 10 to the minus 2 strength of HCl. And there we are, you can see it's going fairly neatly along the colour scale here. And we go the 4th one. And maybe that one's jumped a bit, but it's up to you to figure out what it is. I'll put it here. And 5. Okay. And 6. Looking good, isn't it? And then finally, in the HCl range at least, we get to the 7th of them. Well, very interesting. Okay. And then we go over to the other side. And remember, the 1.0 was definitely 12. This one, I don't know. Make your own judgment as far as you can with a video screen and a fool trying to show you something while wearing a white coat. And make a judgment of there. It's not necessarily going to be as neat as you would want it to be. Here's the 4th one, the 1/10, 1/100, 1/1000. Right. I'm trying to show you, but I can't see it very well. 1/10,000. This one. Right, you can see that it's going very close to the 7 now. And then, oh dear, I'll have to get some more out of here because I've run out of ones that I put there earlier. And we'll just do those last 2. So here we go with the 1/10,000th, I think. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000th, 1/10 to the 5. Oops, sorry, I had that upside down. There we go. Let's see if you can work out a proper one for that. And remember, this is a very rough measure, especially you trying to read it from here. Finally, we get the 1/10 to the 6th, the 10 to the -6th one. And you can probably see what you might call that. Now, this is not a very precise experiment. The reason is, 1, we're using a vegetable as our colour indicator. 2, I have diluted this pretty willy-nilly with the red cabbage indicator, and so you can't really take the universal indicator paper readings very seriously. But it does give you a very good idea of the trend involved. So here's what I'd like you to do. 1, write down the method. The method does include the apparatus, and so if you don't know some of these things, look them up or send me something to ask me these. The next thing you have to do is write the method, and there's 2 parts to that. 1, the serial dilution of the HCl and the NaOH, and secondly, the application of the 2 types of indicators we used. 1, the red cabbage, and 2, the universal indicator paper. And then, well, then we'll go on to some of the lesson work, where we have to work out what is the quantitative way of working out pH. Right, thanks for sticking with me. I really wish you could all be here, and well, I'll see you online.